Alright guys, here we go. Another Homelite. This is a 2010 42cc Homelite. Model is, it's a Homelite 3514C. This one, I don't know if this one's going to do anything. It's in not terribly bad shape. I mean, it's obviously dirty just like the other ones were. This one's like super dirty, but we're so far, I just set it up here, but we're missing the fuel cap's gone. It's like the lines are in it, or they're running up in through the jug anyway, and the chain, you see the chain is unhooked. Well, it's off the bar anyway, so we'll have to deal with that. But this thing is, which is no big deal. I'm going to take it off so we can get inside the case and see what's going on. Pop the top, see how it looks. And this is it's pretty bad. I mean, this one is like caked. It's definitely been doing some setting, and that's the problem you run into. They just set, and it's hard to tell why it was setting, especially with the chain unhooked, fuel cap's gone. So we'll figure it out. See if it's either going to run or it's going to be parts. And this is the one. See if I can get in there where you can see it. The safety stop on it. If you can see it, let me see if you can make sure you can see it. It is actually cracked. So I mean, if it runs good and everything, then I'll get one for it. But you can see there where it's all cracked right there. So this thing's definitely been kicked around a lot, beat on. I mean, it still works. You could probably fix it, but I'm sure you get online, you can probably find them cheap somewhere. There's not much to it, just a couple screws. It still functions like it should. It's just weak, from having that crack in it. But, super good. So get this thing cleaned up some. We'll get that top off of it. We'll take a look at it and see what we got. Now, surprisingly enough, underneath the cover, which it started coming fairly clean. So it's turbo towels, but the primer is definitely going to have to be replaced. The thing is rock hard, so it's not going to do anything. I think the 10-pack that I bought is the same style as that. There's our choke lever, covered in crap. But it's hooked up. The throttle's moving. The start and stop. That thing's so covered with stuff, man, you can't even tell which way is which on it. Yep, so stop is down. So that's all got to be cleaned yet. And I can't believe it. I was really surprised it actually has an air filter in it. Oil soaked. I mean, oil soaked. This thing is, it's like soaked. I mean, how stings. You know how air was even getting through that. Of course, we knew even if it was, I don't know if it runs, but choke's moving. Yeah, so the choke is hooked up. Now we can see it does turn over. How the plug looks like it looks like it's brand new. It's actually too big. Yep. Okay. Too many sockets. I still haven't had a chance to clean this mess up. What do I do with it? Alright. Let me see here. I think there's one. Yeah. Drop her down a side. What in the world? This is why you stay organized. Too much stuff in a confined area. That's too stripped out. Good enough. What you want to do, get the plug out. It does turn over. So, I'm going to get the plug out before we go any farther with it. Nice and dry. It looks like it burnt good, so hopefully we got some fire in here. Alright, try to get it to where I can see it. We're on. I can't see it. I'm going to have to kill the light here. And I still can't tell. It's kind of hard to see down in there. That wire the way it is. There we go. Now it's hitting. So we wasn't getting nothing at first. Let's yank that plug out and we'll throw a new one on it. It's not the right plug for it, but there we go. That's a good connection. Let's see what we get now. Yeah, it's hitting pretty good, so we should be good there with fire. That's a relief. I was starting to think it was going to be a part saw. Yeah, just because it was so filthy. Missing a cap. Chain was off the bar. Thought for sure it would be a part saw, but so far so good, man. Biggest thing now is going to get the safety mechanism straightened out. I'm going to stick an old plug back in it just so I don't get nothing down in it. No, ain't the right one, but that'll work. Okay, so what I have to do is see if it'll fire, really. I mean, start up and run. Yeah, I know we don't have that plug will work, so we'll have to get it to where, see if she'll hit before we go digging into it and ripping it apart to you know, change the primer on it. That thing, it's got to be changed without a doubt. It's rock hard, you can't even use it, but that's what I say. Brand new pack of them right there, so that's not an issue. So the thing is, do we want to do it down here? Well, the answer to that is why not? If I had some 2-cycle, I wish I had some 2-cycle down here, but I don't. I think. No, I don't. I didn't bring it in, so I do have a little. Give it a little shot of that just so she'll. God, that stinks. My wife's going to be pissed. Alright, come on. This is the bad part about messing with these, man, when your shoulder's tore up. Alright, hang on. We're getting nothing. Sounds like the pull cord's kicking out on it a little bit too. So we'll try choking it a little bit. We'll try it again. Oh, maybe it's that plug. Let's put a better plug in it, see what we get. This one, I can't even remember what this plug's out of. It's definitely an old one. There we go. I think this is the one. I hope that ain't the one that was on it either. God, I gotta start throwing these away. That'll work. Let's try this one. Gap's pretty close, but we're going to try it. It's an old Champion. See if that old Champion, ooh, it's kind of long. That actually I think is out of, there we go, now it's on there, actually out of one of the kits that I bought. Let's give it another shot of starting fluid with the, hold the throttle open and do it. God, this stuff stinks. Let's try it now. Hopefully don't run long if it starts. Nothing. Let's run. And it works. Alright, so that gives us the go ahead to get this off here before I end up stretching that wire out and snapping it off the coil or something. That's just too tight of a fit. Well, at least now we know it runs. Kinda. It's a shame, that's a brand new plug, it's just too long. Find something for it to fit. Okay. So now what we have to do is dig in here. Let's get this apart so we can get to that. The primer is going to be replaced, so since we got it out, we're going to take a really good look at the fuel lines. And if they look flaky at all, we're going to go ahead and replace them. So, let me get this stuff off here. And I'll get right back to you. It looks like we got a screw there. They're all star bits. Yep, looks like we got one on the right, one on the left. It's going to remove the cover. It's also going to take the carburetor loose. So I'll do that. Maybe take off a couple other pieces, and we'll take a look at the fuel lines and see what we got. Give you guys a little tip, just in case you're not real familiar with working on stuff like this. It's in reality, it's really easy to remember, but I've seen a lot of things on there, and I've had people ask me before. I think I've mentioned this before actually, but your fuel lines, if you're afraid you'll get confused, use your phone. Because about everybody has either a smartphone or some sort of phone or something that'll take photos. So if you're afraid that you'll screw it up, you just take a picture. This is our primer side of where your top line goes, where your bottom line goes. We'll flip it over. You can see here on the side of the carb, you got your line, because these lines are definitely shot, and they're like rock hard, just like a primer ball, so I'm going to go ahead and replace them. So you got your bottom line on the carb that comes down, that's your fuel line, and the one off to the left is the other primer line. So, you know, you just snap yourself a couple photos. So when you go to reassemble everything, you know, you got everything right there. There's our fuel, our main fuel line, our second there, the primer line where it comes across, and there's our primer ball set up. So if you ever get to where you're not sure, you have your pictures. So the fuel lines are rock hard. I'm going to replace them. Replace the primer. Get that gasket out of there. It's actually a metal gasket. That are there with our screws. And hopefully the carb's good. Everything's clean. Well, cleanish. Clean for the stuff I'm used to messing with. But I'll get to the primer and the fuel lines. Hopefully I have enough fuel line left to run these, and then we'll get her back together. Alright, show you a couple things. The chain is shot. If I can get it to where you can see it. So we're at to where we need a chain. Oop. I can get it to zoom in there. The right here on the bottom, went to put the chain back onto the bar, had to clean the bar out. It was packed with crap. But along the bottom right here, they are smashed. It won't set down into the track. The bottom's fine, but you can see at first I thought it was the bar was smashed, but the bar is fine. It's the teeth right here going along. This section is just completely damaged. So the chain's not usable. So I won't have it on it when we go to start it. And the fuel lines weren't too bad. That's probably out of a scale of 1 to 10. The fuel lines weren't too bad. You got 2 screws. One's here, and the other one's right there above the primer. You take those out. You gotta get this plastic off, then you got a gasket behind it, and then you can access your lines. You gotta take your pull string cover off, and your tank just slides. It just slides straight out with no problem. So that was relatively easy to do. It was probably fighting with the carburetor to get it back on was probably the biggest issue. All in all, it took about getting all that off, getting the tank out, getting the fuel lines in. It took probably about a half an hour, give or take. So now we got a new primer on it, all new lines on it, new filter on it, and but the chain we're not going to be able to use, and we need a fuel cap, and this one takes to be like the female style because it goes over instead of in. So I got a 4-cycle blower. I'll be able to rob the cap off of it, and I'll have to try it and see if it fits. Hopefully it'll fit. So, and then your chain brake up here where it's crack at right here where it's cracked, so that has to be replaced for it to be, you know, like safely usable. You'd want to replace that. So all in all, money wise, if you was wanting to fix it and sell it, cheapest I found this brake was on eBay. Person's got one. It's the brake, the spring, the mechanism, all the cable. Is like all the accessories for the brake. Supposedly in good shape. They're wanting $20, $5.55 to ship, plus tax. And of course, right now I'm not going to do that. That's not counting the price of a new cap. Is anywhere. This depends. I think last time I had to buy one for a blower, it was like $10 at Home Depot for a cap. So now we're up to, like, say, let's just say $35. Chain, if you buy a new chain, you're looking for a 14-inch, easy $15 or more, plus your labor doing all this. And so, I mean, I'm just saying, you know, we only paid $15. I think my wife paid $15 for this one. So if it was something you was wanting to buy, fix, and sell, they are really, Homelite's built relatively cheap. And I can probably find one here and show you. They honestly aren't worth a lot of money. But for me, it's just, you know, it's something for me to tinker with, so that's why I enjoy doing it. I've seen a couple of them on here that I thought I had one saved, but for like $50 on Marketplace local, that is according to the seller, of course, ready to go. Come get it, start it in the garage, take it home and cut. Of course, that's without a case, but you guys get my point. But anyway, I don't want to hold you up with all that rambling. So if it's something you want to sell, it's kind of, for what we paid for it, it'd be a good part sell. Instead of trying to fix it and sell it, we'll get it out there and try to fire it up. Alright guys, here we go. Next day. It's 21 degrees out. I'm going to see if this dude will start up. I went through all the used chains I had and could not find. Man, that thing is stiff. Couldn't find a chain that would fit this saw. There it goes. Now she's working. Didn't worry about that primer there for a second. Alright, see if that'll do it. Choke's on, we're on. It's 21 degrees, man. Talk about a cold start. Alright, give her a shot here. Well, she's trying. Kind of hard to do one-handed, but yeah, it's off. It actually freaking runs. I'm surprised. It does need a little bit of adjustment on the saw, on the carburetor, but I still don't have the air filter in it. That thing was just too oil soaked. There ain't no way it would have been able to breathe. All it would have been doing, if anything, is just burning oil that would have been coming down out of the sponge. But yeah, it actually seems to run pretty decent. So carb definitely needs adjusted a little. So I could have wiped all the snow off everything. Should be the right tool. If I can get in there on it. Good Lord, man. Got a tight fit. Surprised it started up and ran that easy. I mean, it's, God knows how long it's been since this thing's been started. Alright, let's try it again. For whatever reason, it's just wanting to run with the choke not halfway, but it's like in between half and open. It's the only time it's wanting to run, so I think it's going to give us a fit. Man, that thing is a really tight fit. Quarter turn. Man, it's hard to tell. We know this carb may be shot. Great. Neighbor's dogs are out. My dogs do not like them. Try a little more. Try to get it enough where we can at least get it to idle. Play with the carb a little bit. nice if it would just stay without vibrating out, but you know, ain't gonna happen. Damn it. She's trying. Get these dogs so they start fighting. There we go. Just had to find that sweet spot. Now, seems to be running okay. Still, don't let that fool you. Still a little sluggish. So, what I did last night. Got done messing with it down in the basement. Whew, man, it's cold. Got this list together. So, we paid $15 for the saw. I got bored and dug around a little bit. It was like 2 something in the morning. Found a replacement guard, just the guard itself, on eBay for $13. There's another guy on eBay had one. It was the guard, the full mechanism for, I think it was what, $22 or something, and $5. It was like $27 or something with shipping. Lowe's has a chain for it for $23, brand new, Oregon. But there were some on eBay that were cheap. But you know, you kind of get what you pay for. What else? Got the fuel cap. Found one on a fuel cap on eBay, $5. Home Depot and Lowe's website didn't show anything. The fuel line kit on Amazon is $10, so that puts the total, not counting labor, at $66. Now, if you got into it, if we would have needed a full carb kit, I found one on Amazon. It was $17, so that would have brought us up to $73 plus labor. So if it was something you was buying, I'm not a real big Homelite fan. I mean, granted, this saw is like 21 years old. It's been sitting in a machine shop for God knows how long, covered in crap. And it seems to be coming back around to life, but you know, that's not factoring in labor. So like I always say, it just depends on what, you know, if you're doing it yourself, what's your time worth labor wise. Now I know some shops, if you buy it, say you bought it for 15 bucks, 20 bucks, 25 bucks, whatever have you, you throw it in the shop to have it fixed, you're looking at $40, $50 an hour labor. at least around here. And so as I say, time is money, so you got to factor that in. But if you're willing to do the work yourself, you pick it up. I got on there last night and looked, and it's I found some of them on there, same model as this one, 3514C Homelite, 14-inch, 42cc. The closest one I could find to me that ran, the guy had it on there, no case. It had the sleeves to cover the chain. Said the chain needs sharpened, ready to go. $50, but he's like 45 minutes away from me. All the ones that was relatively close, closest one was a half an hour. It was $25 and it was a part saw. So he said it didn't run, doesn't know why it doesn't run. He wasn't messing with it. $25, come and get it. Of course, I'm not going to go get it. Man, it's cool. But that'll do it for this one. It'll get the gas drained back out of it. I will get a blade on it just so it's complete. And this I'm not going to worry about. This saw it'll never get used. I just wanted to get it running and see what we'd run into. And it actually cleaned up pretty decent. So the only thing I done to it was replaced all the fuel lines, fuel filter, primer. I will get a cap for it. These caps you could probably actually get at Home Depot or Lowe's. This is off of a Ryobi 4-cycle leaf blower. So you can probably go to the hardware store and actually get one of them. It doesn't seem to be leaking, so it seals pretty good. So that probably wouldn't be too bad to replace. Granted, there's no blade on it, so I didn't put no bar oil in it, so we don't know if the bar container even leaks. So it still needs an air filter and a chain. So since I'm not going to use it, I won't put no bar oil in it. I probably won't fix that. And I'll put a chain on it if I come across a used one, just so it's there. But this will be with the rest of them, hanging up. I'm making a spot to where I can hang them all as I'm getting them going, the ones I'm going to keep. And so with that, I'll leave it at that, so I'm not dragging this video out. I am like freezing. But actually ran good, fuel lines, fuel filter, carb adjustment, runs good, cleaned up fairly decent. And the next one up will be that Remington, which that dude is heavy. And thanks for watching, guys. I always appreciate it. I got some new subscribers, which is mainly because of that New Year's Eve video, but thank you. It's always appreciated. So we're still trying to get the channel to grow, so subscribe and share and hit that notification bell. It always helps out. And you guys have a good weekend. Try to keep warm. I know here in Ohio it is very, very chilly. You guys have a good Saturday.